Brata Motova Kunjan Bihari Gopi Jan Balaba Girivaradari Gopi Jana Balaba Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanochari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jayarata Motova Kunja Bihari Rata Motova Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Ballabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Ballabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jayarata Madhava Kunja Bihari Hey Radha Motova Kunja Bihari Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paragraj Acharya Shatara Satashishimaad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Anantakoti Vaishnava Brindiki Grantaraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam Ki Nitai Go Premanandi. O glories is assembled devotees, O glories is assembled devotees, O glories is assembled devotees. O glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Narayanam namaskritya naram cheva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayat. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 8, chapter entitled The Churning of the Ocean of Milk, text number 12. Rishya Kalpayam Chakrur Abhishekam Yata Vidi Jagur Bhadrani Gandharva Najascha Nanritur Jagu Rishya Kalpayam Chakrur Abhishekam Yata Vidi Jagur Bhadrani Gandharva Nachaicha Nanritur Jagu Rishya Kalpayam Chakrur Abhishekam Yata Vidi Jagur Bhadrani Gandharva Natyascha Nanlitur Jagu Rishya Kalpayam Chakrur Abhishekam Yata Vidi Jagur Bhadrani Gandharva Natyascha Nanlitur Jagu Why does it take so long? Someone else can chant. Someone else? Ridishaya, the great sages. Kalpiyam Chakru, executed. Abhishekam, the Abhisheka ceremony, which is required during the installation of the deity. Yata Viti, as directed in the authorized scriptures. Jagu, chanted Vedic mantras. Padrani, oh good fortune. Gandharva, and the inhabitants of Gandharva Loka. Natya, the women who were professional dancers. Cha, also. Nanritu, very nicely danced on the occasion. Jagu, and sang authorized songs prescribed in the Vedas. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīmad Prabhupada. The great sages performed the bathing ceremony of the goddess of fortune as directed in the authorized scriptures. The Gandharvas, maybe just turn it down just a little bit. Can we just turn it down just a little bit? It's a little bit loud. The Gandharvas chanted all auspicious Vedic mantras, and the professional women dancers very nicely danced and sang authorized songs prescribed in the Vedas. Translation responsively. The great sages performed the bathing ceremony of the goddess of fortune as directed in the authorized scriptures. The Gandharvas chanted all auspicious Vedic mantras, and the professional women dancers very nicely danced and sang authorized songs prescribed in the Vedas. Om Gyan Timarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bievacha Petitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So the chapter is entitled Churning of the Ocean of Milk. So this is an interesting chapter in Bhagavatam. The Hare Krishna movement is very colorful and interesting on every level, because the title of the chapter is Churning the Ocean of Milk. So we actually believe these things. Right? There is an ocean full of milk. Just like we only have experience of one ocean. So you go down here, right? What is the ocean made of? Just salt. It's all salt. If we go down here, what is it? Oh, God. Exactly. At least someone here understands what's down there. It is salt water. Why is it salt water? Because water tends to stagnate. So you put the salt in there, that's Krishna's genius. Science will say, somehow randomly salt appeared in the water. But actually it's Krishna's genius. If you put salt in the water, then it doesn't go off. The salt stops it from going stagnant. So that's why there's salt in the ocean. But there's also freshwater oceans, which exist. There are oceans of sugarcane juice. There are oceans of milk. It even says there are rivers of mango juice, right? All of these things exist. We believe they exist. So these extraordinary statements, because if you go around the neighborhood now, right, you walk around Albert Park, knock on the doors of the neighbors and say, please come to our class. Now, we'll give you a free breakfast as well. Please come. So they come for class, and they sit here in the class, and then we say, there are oceans of milk. Well, I think, who are these people? What do they believe? Right? So what are these statements in the Bhagavatam? For us, they are real, but they are also tests of faith. Do you actually believe these things? Is it actually true? Because you have to choose your belief system. Everything in life is based on Shraddha, faith. Faith is the essence of life. We have faith, right? Why are you sitting here now? Why are you sitting here? Because you have faith. You have faith. Why are you sitting on the ground? If we walk in the building and we don't have faith, the roof is not going to collapse. If we think the roof is going to collapse, we won't sit here. We have faith. Everything is based on faith. Right? Why do we sit here? Because we have faith that by hearing this message, it will do good for me. It will purify my heart, my consciousness. So we all have Shraddha, or faith. Faith is the essence of life. So you have to choose where your faith lies. Right? And some people, they choose to have faith in, they say that our statements are extraordinary, which they are. Right? We're talking about oceans of milk. Did you ever see it? Hands up if you ever saw an ocean of milk. Right? In this lifetime, no. Previous lifetime, yes, we have seen it. But in this lifetime, no. But do we believe it? Hands up if you believe ocean of milk. Okay, most of you. There is an ocean of milk. We believe it. This is a test of Shraddha. It's extraordinary, but we believe these things. Shraddha Shabde, Vishwasha Kahe, Sudurita Nischaya, Krishna Bhakti Hoile Savakama Kritohaya. It says in Chaitanya Charitamrita. The definition of faith. Shraddha Shabde, Vishwasha Kahe, Sudrita Nischaya. Faith means sudrita, means like fixed. When you really believe in something, that is faith. Do you believe it? How much do you believe it? Completely? 100%? One time, Prabhupada was sitting with his leaders, 1975, 76, something like that, in Mayapur. The leaders of the Hare Krishna movement. Prabhupada said, are you convinced that Krishna is God? He looked at everyone. Are you convinced? And no one put their hand up. Because you're sitting in front of Prabhupada himself, and he's speaking to the depths of your soul. Are you 100% convinced? No one put their hand up. Means, is their faith complete yet? Maybe the faith was not complete. And some people left. And some people could not follow strictly their whole life. So it means you have to have complete faith. So where does complete faith come from? It comes from hearing the Shastra. Right? The more you hear the Shastra, the more your faith will increase. Why? Because you put things in the Shastra into practice, you get the positive result, that increases your faith. This is experiential. Devotion, like this is not blind faith, it is experience. We experience something. Right? You're all experiencing something, that's why you're all here. You wouldn't be here if you didn't experience something. Our practices are experiential. Right? So have I ever seen an ocean of milk? No. Do I believe it exists? Yes. Why? Because the same Shastra that tells me there is an ocean of milk also tells me to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So I chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and I experience connection to God, purification of heart. And my consciousness, I'm becoming more Krishna conscious. So that is working and making my life peaceful and happy. Right? The experiment works. Right? And then I have faith that, okay, it says that works. Because some people, even if they chant, they won't get a result. Right? Many people, because they don't have Shraddha. They don't have proper Sambandha. They'll just chant it, they'll say, oh, this is just... Even devotees think like that sometimes. Do you think sometimes? Like, is this real? When you're chanting? You ever think like that? Is this really, am I really experiencing something? Am I blissful? Am I actually happy right now? Or is this just in my mind? Do you ever have that experience? Anyone? No? Okay, that's good. That means everyone's very progressed in spiritual life. But sometimes devotees think like that, particularly men. Women are more, they just let their emotions flow naturally to Krishna, but men over-intellectualize things sometimes. Oh, is Krishna really the deity? Is this real? Is the deity non-different from Krishna? Is the holy name actually Krishna? Sometimes people will think like that. But if you chant sincerely and properly, right, then you will have an experience, right? And that faith, that experience in your heart, that concretes or solidifies the fact that God actually exists. And that is your experience. So therefore, when you hear all these statements, you believe it. Okay, it's true. Because this chapter is extraordinary, right? And this is a test of Shraddha. Do you actually believe these things? And if you believe it, that means you will go further in your spiritual life. The nice story is there about the eye of the needle, the elephant going through the eye of a needle. Narada, he met two devotees. One was a brahmana, one was a cobbler. Do we call cobbler muchi? Is that like a correct term for the cobbler? Sometimes I've heard the story. Is that correct? Yeah, I've heard the story said like that. He was a muchi. Sometimes, do devotees use this word, suchi and muchi? Do you use it? Okay, so it's there. When I joined, that was there. Oh, Prabhu, that is muchi. Devotees still say that? Yeah, okay, so you know what I'm talking about. So the cobbler is like muchi, because he's working with shoes all day. The shoes are muchi. If you touch your shoes, you're not suchi anymore, you're muchi. I did a class many years, about 10 years ago, on cleanliness in Krishna consciousness. It's on YouTube, so if you look at that, you can understand what is suchi and muchi. We go through all these things. So if you touch your shoes with your hands, then you have to wash your hands before you do anything else, because you're now muchi. Right? Asuchi, you're not clean anymore. So the cobbler, he's muchi, he's like humble person, just working with the shoes. And then you have the brahmana, who seems to be very spiritually progressed. So they saw Narada, right? And they said, where are you going? Narada said, I'm going to Vaikuntha to see Lord Narayan. Oh, please ask him, when will I go back to Godhead? When will I return to Vaikuntha? So he went, right? And he said to the Lord, when will they come? The brahmana, he will take several lifetimes. The cobbler will come immediately at the end of this lifetime. Right? And then, when they ask, what am I doing? Say, I have an elephant, I'm putting it through the eye of the needle. So then he goes back. And they said, did you see the Lord? Yes, I saw him. The brahmana said, what was the Lord doing? He was putting the elephant through the eye of a needle. The brahmana thought, how is that possible? And then he said, when will I come back to Godhead? You will take a few lifetimes, because your Shraddha, your faith, is not yet complete. The Lord can do anything. He can go like that, put it through. Prabhupada says, a simple example, the banyan tree is in the seed of the banyan tree, right? You take one seed, like this big, of a banyan tree, and you plant it, and in hundreds of years you'll have a banyan tree. Have you seen the banyan trees sometimes? I heard in Calcutta there's one that goes for 1 kilometre, covers like a square kilometre, because it comes up and down like that. And goes, I haven't seen it, but I've heard there is like this. And that all came from a seed. How did Krishna put in a seed a whole tree? How is it possible? Because he's the Lord. So if he gets an elephant through the eye of the needle, that's not difficult for him, right? For us, okay, that's a problem. You can't put it. But for Krishna, it is possible. So he said to the muchi, to the cobbler, he said, what was the Lord doing? The cobbler said, I said, I put the elephant through the eye of the needle. He said, oh, this is wonderful. When will I go back to Vaikuntha? He said, you will come back at the end of this lifetime. You're ready, because your faith is complete. If your faith is complete, you will go back to Krishna this lifetime. So we have to choose what we have faith in, what we have Shraddha in. So people will say, if we bring the neighbors in and we say, okay, ocean of milk and elephant through the eye of the needle, and we have some pretty, this chapter's got some pretty amazing statements. The elephant, Airavata, how many trunks? 4 trunks, right? So you got like an elephant with 4 trunks. Did you see it at the Melbourne Zoo? Yeah? Have you ever seen? We hear all these statements and people think, oh, this is extraordinary. What do you people believe? What do they put in your food? The turmeric brainwashes you. They used to think that back in their 70s. They said they're brainwashing our food. They said that's how they're capturing, their brainwash. And they said the turmeric was the drug they put in. And that made everyone mind control like that. So they have their opinions, some of our things, but what the materialistic people say, it is equally extraordinary. Like the theory of evolution. What is the theory of evolution? Right? That it's as equally extraordinary as our things. Monkeys gave birth to humans. Right? Did you ever go to the zoo, you saw the monkey, and you came back and there's a little human running around like, came out of the monkey? No. Right? Even Darwin, who wrote the Origin of the Species, right, he wrote that 150 years ago, right? He says in the Origin of the Species, he says, the theory as it stands is not yet proven. He writes it. But when I went to school, they used to teach it not like it's the theory of evolution. They said this is how it all happens. But there's no hard evidence. Otherwise, archaeologists, how do you say it? Archaeologists, yeah, so it's not coming out of my mouth, I don't know why, but when I was a kid I wanted to be an archaeologist. Oh, now it's coming. Archaeologist. So I wanted to be an archaeologist when I was a kid, right? So they dig up all the things out of the earth, but why aren't they digging up all these half humans, half ape things? It's not coming out. Occasionally they'll find something, like in Java, out the back of Indonesia, they'll find something that looks like it and they'll say, oh, there it is. But it should just be coming up out of the earth everywhere. So this is equally extraordinary to think about these things. So where does your Shraddha lie? Does it lie with this or does it lie with that? And I always say to people, sometimes they say, why are you a Hare Krishna? Why do you believe in all these things? Why do you believe in the oceans of milk and all these different things? And I say because the prasadam, the food is very good. And even that is a factual thing. It sounds simple, but actually taking prasadam, now Prabhupada said it purifies the brain tissue and then you can understand these things. Even that is scientific. Right? Shraddha is created just by taking prasadam. Right? And even the things that we eat, the prasad, everything that comes down, the Vedic science of prasadam, of the food that we eat, that is not haphazard, right? That is scientific. Just like I was listening yesterday, actually, because I'm doing a bit of research about health at the moment, and I was listening to one American Ayurvedic doctor in America, and she was saying, turmeric, right? In India, there's papers that are being written at the moment by the medical scientific people, that India has the lowest rate of Alzheimer's disease in the world. And they're connecting that to turmeric, which is just everyone eats in India. It's just part of everything. It's in everything. Haldi, put it in everything. Everything. Haldi, pakora, samosa, sweet rice, everything. Just put it in. Haldi, So you put it in, but what does it do? It's anti-inflammatory, right? So therefore, it is destroying the inflammation which takes place in the brain. And in the West, we don't eat it so much, and Alzheimer's is so prevalent, right? When the Ayurvedic doctors first in the 1970s and 80s started coming to America to teach from India, and people were saying, oh, how do you treat Alzheimer's? They said, oh, what is that? Because no one had heard about it. No one had it in India before that. So there is even science behind what we eat, right? So that gives Shraddha, because the diet is perfect. So all of these things which come, so we have to choose, what do we believe? Where does our Shraddha lie? Where does our faith lie? Yeah? So we see in this verse, when the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, because different things started coming out of the ocean. All phones off, please. Silent mode, aeroplane mode, please. You come in the temple, you always put your phone on silent. Hare Krishna. So, when she came into when they started churning the ocean of milk, right, different things started coming out. Some were good things, some were not very good things. And then everyone started working out, oh, who's going to take this, who's going to take that. So Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of fortune, she also came from the ocean of milk. Of course, she always existed. These are just pastimes for the material world. Nicho Nichanam. The Lord always exists. The goddess of fortune, we always existed. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Na tveva ham jatu na sam na tvam ne me janadhi paha. Right? So we always existed. But in the material world, we need these ceremonies. Just like Krishna has a Jamma Lila. You can go to the Jammastan. Where is Jammastan? Mathura, where Krishna appears. Or Gokul also. So Krishna appears and he has a Jamma Lila. Why does Krishna have a Jamma Lila? Because he comes to the material world. So he wants to look like he is human-like. In the spiritual world, there is no Jamma Lila. Right? There's no appearance pastime because he's already there. But then when he comes to this material world, then Krishna has Jamma Lila, where he appears. So in the same way, Lakshmi, she says it comes from the ocean of milk. She's already there. She's in Vaikuntha, but she just appears like that. So then it says that they have a bathing ceremony directed by the authorized scriptures. Yata vidhi. Vidhi. What does vidhi mean? Vidhi. Right? Injunctions. Positive injunctions. Rules, regulations. If you study Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada said this is the law book for ISKCON. Right? Everyone has to become learned in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the Nectar of Devotion. This Kartik, I'm going to be studying it more deeply. The later parts, because the Eastern Division, I've just taught it recently. The eastern side of the ocean, but now the southern and so forth, I'm going to go more deeply in Kartik. Because I need to understand it more thoroughly. So, Prabhupada said that is the law book for ISKCON. It's an amazing book actually. If you see the structure of it, because I've studied it again recently, I've been teaching it to some devotees on the farm and some other devotees, a mini Bhakti Shastri course. So, while I'm going through it again, I haven't studied it for a long time. I'm just seeing the brilliance of the format and the presentation of the book. Same with Chaitanya Charitamrita, because I'm teaching that. Chaitanya Charitamrita is 11,000 verses. Right? I think the Bhagavatam is quoted around about 1,000 times, or there's around 1,000 Shastri quotes within the book itself. And it's such a masterpiece of presentation of the Krishna conscious philosophy. It's extraordinary. So we have to study these books carefully. This is where our Shraddha will come from. Because these books were not written by humans. You know, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was empowered. Rupa Goswami was empowered. Like, it's not a human work. So, in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, we are taught everything we do in Krishna consciousness is governed by two principles. What are the two principles that govern everything that we do in Krishna consciousness? What is it? Yeah. How do we say it? If we explain it in English, then how would we say it? Yeah, but what's the governing principle of everything we do in our Hare Krishna movement? Always remember Krishna. Never forget Krishna. Right? So how do you always remember Krishna? That's called vidhi. Vidhi means there are rules and regulations. You must do these things. They will help you to remember Krishna. Right? We have a list of 64 things within Nectar of Devotion. If you do those 64 every day, you will remember Krishna. Right? And then the last 5 are the most important. Associate with devotees, chant the holy name, hear Bhagavatam, worship the deities, and reside in the holy place. You will always remember Krishna if you do these things every day. Okay? Right? Every day you have to do it. Right? So if you do these things, so that will help you to always remember Krishna. But what is the other injunction? Never forget Krishna. So what are the things that make you forget Krishna? Meat eating, illicit sex, intoxication, and gambling. That's why we don't do those things. Right? When you take initiation, vidhi, one thing you say I will do every day, minimum 16 rounds a day. 4 things you will abstain from. Why? Because those 4 things make you forget Krishna. These things make you remember Krishna. Right? So that's called vidhi and nisheta. Yeah? Also, nisheta means chapter 8 of Nectar of Devotion is called, what is chapter 8? Yeah, offenses to be avoided. That is chapter 8. Why? Because those 64 offenses, they will make you forget Krishna. Right? Because if you commit aparad, what happens? The river of mercy stops coming. Nice example, Giriraj Maharaj. I studied my Bhakti Shastri online years ago. And I studied Nectar of Devotion. When I studied Nectar of Devotion, I studied the classes of Tamal Krishna Maharaj, Giriraj Maharaj, and Bhurajan Prabhu, right? And some others as well. So that's how I studied, and I listened to everyone's lectures on the book. So while we're studying Nectar of Devotion, there are the 64 things that we have to avoid. And Giriraj Maharaj gives a very nice example. That if you have a bank account, hands up if you have a bank account. Okay. Yeah, everyone. Except if you're wearing saffron, you don't have one. But everyone else has one. So if you have a bank account, but then you have some problem with the bank, they cut the access. So your money is there, but you cannot access it. Has it ever happened to you? Really? Oh, okay. Never happened to me, but but if you have some problem, right, then okay, you can't have your money. It's there, but you can't have it. So when you commit aparad, chapter 8 said offenses to be avoided, aparadas. So if you commit offenses in devotional service, then what takes place? Your bhakti, your credit, the sukriti, bhakti onmukhi sukriti, which is spoken of in Harinam Chintamani, Haridas Thakur, it's his disappearance day today. Haridas Thakur, then he teaches us there are different types of sukriti. Bhaktonmukhi sukriti means the credits that you get when you perform bhakti. That is always there, it's always stored. It doesn't get destroyed. But when you commit aparad, you cannot access it. Does it make sense? So what it means is you can make advancement as a devotee. Sometimes we see advanced devotees in ISKCON historically have fallen down, right? Devotees say, oh, how did they fall down? They were gurus. They were advanced devotees. They were sannyasis. How did they fall down? Because they made advancement. All the advancement is there, but they committed offenses, and then the access to it was gone. They lost their taste, and then they fell away. But when they come back, it's all waiting there. But you have to rectify your offenses. That's the point. So this is called nisheta. Things that you must avoid. Because if you don't avoid these things, you will commit offenses, and then your advancement will be taken away. What is the greatest of all the offenses, the most serious? It is called sadhu ninda, right? Or hatimata offense. We call it mad elephant offense. It means offending devotees, blaspheming devotees. And there are 6 ways you can blaspheme devotees. Right? The most serious is you can kill a devotee. All right? Please don't do it. Even if you feel like it, don't do it. Don't kill the devotees. Not good. Not good. Like sometimes, the boys at the farm, they do something wrong and I feel like, oh, but I don't kill them. Because I think in my mind, that is aparad. That is aparad. I cannot do that. I cannot do that. So you don't kill the devotees. Right? It says that you should not, even if you see a devotee and you don't smile, that's also an offense. If you're not happy when you see a devotee, a devotee feels, oh, why is Prabhu not smiling at me today? I did something wrong, or something like that. Then, okay, then that can be an offense. Small offense, but it can be an offense. So these are different aparas that we have to be careful of in our bhakti, in our devotional service. Right? So that's why Rupa Goswami said there is vidhi, there is nisheda. So it says here they worshipped Lakshmi Devi when she appeared according to the vidhi, the rules and regulations. There are rules and regulations which govern how we worship the deity. Lakshmi Devi is the deity, she personified. Lord Chaitanya teaches us in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the deity is non-different from Krishna. Chapter 5 in Madhya Lila, these different chapters, the pastimes of Shakshi Gopal, all these different chapters which are there, they explain that the deity is non-different from Krishna. And there is vidhi, or a system, to properly honor and worship the deity, which is what we follow every day. So if you worship properly, follow the vidhi, the rules and regulations, you will get the result. So today is Haridas Thakur's disappearance. He is called Nam-Acharya. This is very interesting because when we do Prema Dwani in the morning, right, after the Kirtan, we see Prema Dwani. Jayam Vishnupad, Paramahamsa, Parivrajaka Ashtottara Sattva Śrīmad, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta. So we say for Prabhupada, Ki Jai. And then we say Anantakoti Vaishnav. Anantakoti means all the devotees, every devotee in the universe. Ki Jai. All glories to all the devotees. Anantakoti Vaishnav. But then we specifically, and it's interesting, Prabhupada gave us in Prema Dwani, it's only one person is singled out amongst all of Mahaprabhu. We say, we say to Panchatattva, we say Prema Dwani like that, but only one devotee is singled out. Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Very interesting if you analyze it. Now, what is the significance of Haridas Thakur? Is his disappearance today. And there's a beautiful pastime given Chaitanya Charitamrita just about his disappearance. Now, Srila Haridas Thakur is called Nam-Acharya. Nam-Acharya means the devotee who was singled out by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach us, right, the philosophy and to give us the example of the practice of the main anga of bhakti, which is chanting the holy name of Krishna. So Haridas Thakur, he is Nam-Acharya. He is the one who taught us how to chant the holy name of Krishna. And there is a beautiful conversation, which we now have translated. And I studied that many years ago, and it's one of the most important books I've ever studied in our philosophy. It is called Harinam Chintamani. It's a conversation between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Haridas Thakur, in which Haridas Thakur takes the position of the teacher. Same as with Ramananda Roy, when Lord Chaitanya is Ramananda Roy. Normally when you're with a senior devotee, Prabhupada explains this in Canto 3 of the Bhagavatam, it's actually an offense to instruct in the presence of the senior. Like when, let's say Vedavyas Priya Maharaj is here, or we say, Maharaj, you please give the class. Even if you're scheduled to give the class, you say, please give the class. Just like I was in Mayapur one time and the devotees asked me to give class, so I went to give class. So I walked in, I sat down, I think it was a Sunday morning in Mayapur, and I started chanting Jai Radha Madhava. So I was a little bit nervous because, we're in Mayapur and it's, so I closed my eyes the whole time, chanting Jai Radha Madhava. And at the end I said, Kunjabi Hari, and I opened my eyes. And then Hanumat Prashek Swami sitting right there, like right where the camera is, right in front of me, with his danda. Like one of the Swamis, Pankajangri Prabhu was there, Jananivas Prabhu was there, senior devotees. And I almost said, Maharaj, can you please give class? Because I didn't feel entirely comfortable. Because I think, why am I instructing them? It's like senior Vaishnava. But, devotees had asked me to give, so I gave class like that. And by Krishna's mercy, it turned out okay. Because, sometimes you give in class and everything just disappears out of your mind. And I was thinking, imagine if that happened while I'm sitting here in Mayapur in front of all the senior devotees, and suddenly I'm just going, but Krishna is God, and Mayapur is really spiritual, and you should chant 16 rounds minimum every day. If I give a class like that, that's not going to be very good. But Krishna helped me, and then the class was okay. So we should not speak in front of the senior. But in these two instances, with Ramananda Roy, Ramananda Samvad, chapter 8 of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Ramananda Roy takes the position of the speaker, the teacher, and Mahaprabhu is the student. He listens and he questions. Same with Harinam Chintamani. Haridas Thakur is speaking, Lord Chaitanya is asking the questions. So these books, we should study them very carefully. So Haridas Thakur, if you study Harinam Chintamani, it's based upon the 10 offences to the holy name, which we recite every morning after Mangalati. Right? We say there are 10 offences. Now you have to understand those 10 offences very carefully, and Harinam Chintamani explains how to avoid those offences, how to improve in our chanting. So there are 10 offences. Now 2 of them, number 1 and number 3, what is number 1? What is number 3? Very good. Those 2 are connected very carefully, or they're connected very deeply. If you blaspheme devotees, if you offend devotees, right, you will find it difficult to follow the instructions of your guru. And if you stop following the instructions of your guru, which is number 3, you will begin to blaspheme the devotees because you'll lose your taste. Does it make sense? It's scientific. These 2 are deeply connected. You have to be very careful. If you commit offense number 1, what is the remedy for the offense? How do you overcome the offense? Huh? Yeah, you have to go and offer obeisances to the devotee. Bow down. Offer obeisances. Bow down and say, Prabhuji, please forgive me. I didn't mean it. And most of the time, the devotees will forgive you. Most of the time. If they don't, then there's also an instruction how to deal with that. And then number 3, if you disobey the orders of the guru, how do you overcome that offense? What's the remedy for that offense? If you disobey the orders of the guru, you have to go to your Guru Maharaj and beg forgiveness. Guru Maharaj, I didn't follow your instruction. You gave me the instruction, I didn't follow it. Please forgive me. Right? And Maharaj will say, why did you not follow the instruction? Right? Stop your nonsense. Right? Start following my instructions. Right? So this is how we overcome. Now the other 8 offences, right? To consider the holy name to be imagination, to commit sinful activities on the strength of, there's different other 8 offences. They are overcome by cultivation of divya gyan, or knowledge. It means if you're committing those 8 offences, it means there's something wrong with your philosophical understanding. You have to correct that. So you have to go to the devotees, say, Prabhuji, I'm committing this offence, I don't understand, please instruct me. They will instruct you. You then begin to follow, and then you will overcome those offences. Does it make sense? Now there's also one extra offence, which we say at the end, after all the others. We say it is also an offence to be inattentive while chanting. So Bhaktivedanta Thakur explains to us, what was yesterday? Appearance Day of Bhaktivedanta Thakur. And who wrote the Harinam Chintamani? Bhaktivedanta Thakur. So this is important for us to understand. Bhaktivedanta Thakur instructs us, the cause of all of the 10 offences is when you are not chanting the holy name attentively. Inattentive chanting is the cause of all of the other offences. Hands up if you commit some of the 10 offences sometimes. All right. Some devotees are like, do I or do I not? No. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we do. So, it is because you are not chanting attentively. It means your chanting is not... Because when you chant nicely, you will get yourself in a purified state of consciousness and you won't commit the other offences. That's a fact. Now, that's why it says that offence is the root cause of all the other offences. And then in Harinam Chintamani, because in Harinam Chintamani, that offense, inattentive chanting, is included in the list, because number 5 and 6 are merged, then what is the remedy for inattentive chanting that Haridas Thakur gives? He said, you should go into a dark room, right? Go into a dark room, or when you're chanting, blindfold yourself, or put a bucket over your head, right? Different ways of doing it. And just hear the holy name without distraction. That's how you learn to be attentive. Because I see devotees, you know, like on Janmashtami morning, you know, we're all in here chanting together. So it must be like 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700 devotees in here. I don't know how many. There's a lot of devotees. Right? So I look around sometimes, I see everyone chanting, and you can see just by looking at people's faces if they're chanting attentively or not. Some devotees are chanting attentively, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Other devotees, they kind of like, you know, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. It's not attentive chanting, right? You can see. So if you're chanting attentively, you won't commit the offenses because you'll purify your consciousness. If you're not chanting attentively, you will commit offenses, right? So we have to be very attentive while chanting. That's one of the secrets in advancing Krishna consciousness. So today, we can pray to Nam Acharya, Haridas Thakur, please help me. Whenever I go to see him in Jagannath Puri, I go to his samadhi, I always pray like that, please help me develop my taste for the holy name, Nama Ruchi. Right? I want to get a taste for the holy name of Krishna. Right? So please help me cultivate that taste deeper and deeper and deeper. And take me from the platform of Nama Parad to Nama Bas. Right? And then from there to Shuddha Nam. Help me cultivate the pure chanting of the holy names of Krishna. So today you can pray like that. You can do that. For Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki. So we'll stop here and we'll ask if there's any questions or comments on anything we discussed today. You have a question? Yeah. Your brother doesn't want you to ask it? Your brother doesn't want you to ask the question? What is that? So, go.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for the nice class. Prabhu, you mentioned how we should have faith in the teachings and the scriptures. And we see in Bhagavad Gita 4.40, Krishna mentions how the ignorant and foolish men who doubt the scriptures, they fall down and do not attain God consciousness. And we are also encouraged to ask questions in every session, Pariprashnena Sevaya. So is there a difference between doubts and questions?
Well, the questions sometimes the question is coming from a doubt. Or, you know, is that really true? Is there really an ocean of milk? Can you show me? Where is it? You know, you have a doubt, like it's in your heart. Sometimes you hear things, you think, oh, I'm not sure about that. So then you ask the question. Other times, it's not so much that you doubt, you just maybe don't understand it properly. So just like, oh, so how do I understand? What's the difference between, you know, Nama Parad, Nama Bas, Shuddha Nam, what are the characteristics? So it's not that you're doubting it, but you just want to understand it more. So both. Questions can come from doubts, but they can also come from interest or inquisitiveness or like that. Does it make sense?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, good question. Your questions are good. Yes, sir. Thank you for always asking questions. It's actually quite amazing because nearly every class, practically every class, only one class I ever gave you didn't ask a question, but you always are. And your questions are most of the time, they're very intelligent questions. And sometimes I'm quite amazed because I think, how does she, but every time she thinks it's something interesting to ask, it's good. Yeah. Krishna will bless you.
Hare Krishna, thanks for a nice class. Prabhu, can you just explain the relationship between, because you were mentioning about Shraddha, and also...
Between what?
About Shraddha, about faith. You were mentioning about faith at the start, and then also talking about following the rules and regulations and actually practicing Krishna consciousness. I just want to understand, I guess, the relationship between Shraddha and faith, in the sense that sometimes we meet people, or maybe newcomers, where they say they believe in Krishna or they believe in God, but they don't have the conviction to actually practice the actual process, but they say they have faith. So I'm trying to understand what's the relationship between that faith they have and not being enough, maybe, for them to actually practice sincerely, or to even actually practice the process.
Yeah, so the one English translation of the word Shraddha is faith. So you said, what's the difference, or what's the, no, they're the same thing. In English we say faith, in Sanskrit we say Shraddha. I can't give class in Sanskrit because I haven't learnt it. Maybe Gopa can give class. Can you give class in Sanskrit? Can you speak it? Could you do it? I mean, we wouldn't understand it, but could you give a class in Sanskrit? Never tried, but could you do it? Okay. Yeah, so, but none of us would understand it anyway. So I'd be sitting there going, wow, this is amazing. I've got no idea what he's talking about, but this is amazing. So that's why we speak in English. And that's why Prabhupada translated all the books into English. So faith is the word for Shraddha. It had different words, Shraddha, Shabda, Vishwash, there's another word. So in different languages we have different like that. So then the question is, why do some people say they believe in Krishna but then they won't commit? It just means their Shraddha is not increased. It just means it's in a seed form. So it means we have to water the seed. How do we water the seed? Shravanadi Jal, right? By Shravanam and Kirtan. So that's why we have these Kirtan programs. Because Kirtan purifies the consciousness and develops Shraddha. Oh, I'm getting a taste out of this, right? But Kirtan must be done with proper sambandha. Sambandha means correct understanding of the relationship. Because many people, just like on the weekend, there were some Kirtan people here in Melbourne, famous Kirtan people. Remember the names, anyone? What is it? Do you remember the name? Yeah, anyway, they're famous around the world, but they're not actually devotees. They're connected to devotees, they like devotees, but not actually devotees. So my mother actually went to the Kirtan. But the Sambandha, many people are chanting, even some people are chanting Maha Mantra during the program, but they don't have the Sambandha, or the correct understanding of the relationship between them and Radha and Krishna, right? So even though they're chanting, they're getting some benefit, right? But they're not getting the full benefit because they don't have proper knowledge, right? Because when you understand, oh, I am Jivara Surpahoy Krishna, and I am Krishna's eternal servant, that's when you start getting the full or more of the benefit in the chanting, right? So if someone says, I believe in Krishna, but I'm not committed enough to follow all the principles and chant rounds every day, it means we have to water that faith. So we invite them, come do more kirtan with us, then you'll get more. Hear the philosophy, Shravanadija. Shravana means hearing the philosophy, get a deeper understanding of what we're doing. That's why we say every day come to classes. And then take prasadam. Because as Prabhupada said, it purifies the consciousness. And that was Prabhupada's basic system. I was listening recently when Prabhupada was in the Bowery, because I'm listening to Devi Shakti Mataji speak about Prabhupada's early days. Even before he got to 26 Second Avenue, half an hour of kirtan, then he would speak for half an hour to 45 minutes, another half an hour of kirtan, and then prasadam. That's Prabhupada's program. Right? And it works. And then he started making devotees. People started uplifting and getting purified. So that's it. So we just have to, it just means their faith is there, they have faith, but their faith is not strong yet. So they can, like some of the devotees that come for the program, like on Tuesday night, the program you do with Nanda. And so I speak to some of them, and some of them say, oh, I'm just not sure yet. So that means we have to increase the faith. I think this is my practice, but I'm not sure yet. So that means we have to fan the spark, or put more water, and increase the faith, and give them a good experience. And don't destroy their faith. That's the worst thing. Treat them very carefully. Because if you don't treat them properly, they might go away. It's very careful. Their initial impressions, right? Because when they first come, how someone is treated in the beginning, that's going to formulate their faith, their Shraddha. And if they have negative experience, they're going to think, oh, I don't know if I want to be with these people. Or does it make sense? Okay. Any other questions? Yes, yes, sir. Vijay Das.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the nice class. I have a question about the oceans. You know, we have 7 different oceans, like an ocean of milk, an ocean of yogurt, you know, sweet water. So, but why we have an ocean of liquor?
Why do we have an ocean of liquor in the universe?
What's the significance, like, of the ocean of liquor?
What's the significance?
Yeah, like...
Okay, well, if you walk around Melbourne today, right, how many liquor shops will you see? Plenty, right? So I'm sure there's some people who would be pretty happy if the whole ocean was liquor. So I don't know why it's there, but I would imagine there are people on the shore who are swimming and drinking and enjoying it. So I imagine, I don't know because I haven't been there, I can't remember being there. I probably have been there, but I can't remember, you know. So, yeah, I don't know why, but, you know, I mean, in the universe it's a popular thing.
You find all sorts of people or living entities. You will find all sorts of...
Yeah, walk around Melbourne today, you're going to find a lot of different living entities. You're going to find people who would be, you know, if you walk around Melbourne today and you think, categorize everyone, which people am I seeing today who would like the ocean of liquor? Which ones would like the ocean of milk? Which ones would like the ocean of dahi? Which one would like the ocean of salt water, sweet water? Like, everyone's different, so yeah. Yeah, like that. So.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki? Jai. Gauranga. Oh, Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Gauranga. Gauranga.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Nana